Tonight I've come out with one aim. It's the same aim as most of the time. It's to get a photograph that's a little bit different. I'm out in search of different. When am I not? So I've come out with an idea of the kind of things that I want to capture. But already I've just walked from the car and I've been looking around. This is all part and parcel of the process of photography, of course, is looking around. And I've walked past countless things that I think would suit my purpose. You see, what I'm after this evening is mostly abstract kind of things. And, well, I've been here many times before. You may have seen one of my more popular videos. I'll link it up in the corner. I'm not going to point because I never know which bloody corner to point to. And back then I was looking for shapes and patterns and such, and I guess to a degree I am now, but now I'm very, very much in the market for some abstract, and I rather thought that I'm going to get loads of them with these tractors and these boats and whatever other paraphernalia from the local fishing industry that I can find. And instantly I see this aluminium boat. It's just full of possibilities. Just the colours and the textures on this, you know, they're wonderful. But what we need to think about when we're trying to find abstracts is, what is an abstract? Because if you think about it, it barely exists in real life. And I'm not suggesting I'm not here and you're not there watching me. What I'm saying is that it's kind of conceptual. It only really exists in a very flat plane, 2 dimensions, or very, very thin 3 dimensions, such as the bridge structure up there. I haven't shot it, but I thought you could probably do something with this if you could get close to it, you get the angles right and such. But this, you can't get much more flat, can you? I mean, well, you could, obviously, because there's a ridge there. But yeah, I'm being pedantic. Of course, what's making this work, really, it's the colour. Yeah, there's quite a lot of damage, gradation and such on this with these marks. They might work, but it's the colour, it's the time of day that's really catching this, because the setting sun, the lowering sun, is really just highlighting the wonderful colour on this. And the only sections I'm really bothered about here, I suppose, is perhaps that weld line. I don't know, that maybe has to be too detailed. It probably is. Yeah, we've got a bit of seaweed here and a bit of rope or something there. And it's just the randomness of the patterns, the abstractness, if you'll allow. So I was talking about the kind of 2D nature of these things, and one of the things that you need to therefore work with when we're working with abstracts, by and large, is we've got to get in close. We've got to isolate areas of what it is we're looking at. So I've got on here my 12 to 40 mm lens. This will allow me to get stupidly close to something. I can't remember, it's 20 centimeters, something like that. And don't forget, that's not to the front element of the lens, that's to the sensor. So yeah, if we're kind of around here, helps if we turn this on. Now, I don't need a particularly deep aperture for this. f5.6 will be fine. It's giving me a 60th of a second, that's fine too. And just kind of go in here and find something that we like the look of. You see, I'm just eyeing up on the LCD and kind of just finding something and going, oh, that's not so bad. Not bothered about whether it's level, just bothered about whether it's going to be sharp. There we go. We'll get on that bit of rope or whatever it is there. I'm not being precious about this. I'm not being not overthinking it. It's just, does that look all right? Yeah, okay, that looks okay. What else we got? We've got a rivet dimple or something here, not a rivet, a weld. Looks like a weld dimple from something that's mounted inside. That's kind of interesting. There's another one here. I'm putting all these on thirds because I think they're more interesting on thirds, but you could just put them in the center if you wanted to. Give them breathing room. Nothing wrong with doing some portrait style ones as well. And we have a great deal of variety here. We've got some wonderful colours, some lovely sun reflections, or not so much reflections, but the light coming in over here, making this area rather nice. We've got this kind of rust part here. I think I could probably stand here for a very long while shooting just this boat. I might. But also moving away from the brown colour section there, I think I'll try to get a better idea of this through the viewfinder, because this is curved, this surface, whereas that was really quite flat. I rather like this pattern coming down here. What about getting the corner of this peeling 8 in, just, or the H, I'm not sure. You see, when we get into spaces where, or when we frame up things where we begin to be able to determine what it is, I think we need to get in closer so we can lose that conceptual determination of what it is that we're looking at. Just that abrasion there's nice. What else we got?
One of the great things about abstract, particularly the kind of thing I'm trying to shoot here, is that you can get away with a great many cock-ups. I spotted a shape on the fiberglass hull here, just really where something had been before and then been removed. It had created a shadow, if you like. And I missed focus, or it was just a bit of camera shake, whatever. It looked awful. But with some tinkering in post, it turned into something quite special, at least in my view. What do you think of it?
Rust is always a good option for these kind of things, but I rather like the way this rust and the paint and the vinyl lettering is working here. And again, another shot, but it's like getting close, because only really by getting close do we begin to take away the meaning of the photo. Yeah, we take away its context, and it becomes something that you look at and think, oh, I wonder what that is. You see, at this distance, I don't know that it's an H or an M. I just know that we've got a couple of black pillars. Oh, that's too slow. That's too slow. Stop talking, Andy, and concentrate on your photography, your exposure here, because we've really got to push that ISO up. ISO 1000 there. We've got this bullet hole piece of rust here as well. It's not a bullet hole. It's not a bullet hole, it's just rust. And if I wasn't so concentrating on abstracts, I might also be tempted to shoot this with this on the left hand side of the frame and the distance beyond. What a stupid thing to say. Of course I'm going to bloody shoot it. I like that shot too. It's not abstract, but who cares? don't miss opportunities when you're out. You might have something in your head, but if you see something that you like, just shoot it for goodness sake, because that same shot won't be there again. So you might be thinking, I haven't got anything interesting like that around me. You're lucky. You've got these wonderful boats and these tractors and such. I'm not going to have any of that. As I walked up here, I mentioned this earlier, when I walked here, I walked past a whole heap of things that I really should have stopped and got the camera out for. Now, the reason I didn't is because I wasn't prepared for them at the time. The reason I didn't is because the camera was still in my bag on the back, and I was heading here. I had a predetermined idea. But I was walking and I saw things that you will see every single day that you are out. Things like manhole covers. Yeah, mundane as anything. And you might think I'm a bit bloody loopy, but hear me out. The shapes and the 2D flat nature of a manhole cover. If you were to find an interesting one with a bit of character, one that you can kind of get over and get a nice shot of without getting run over. That was one of the other problems as well. What I was seeing was mostly in the middle of a reasonably busy road. So, yeah, opportunist photography kind of, is there a car? Run. But, yeah, you'll see these things absolutely anyway, but get the manhole cover kind of corner of the frame, the rest of it tarmac or whatever it's set in. You will be amazed that if you get that shot right, and you do have to get the shot right because you've got to be pretty much flat to it, absolutely square to it. If you're at an angle or something to it, it's going to look a bit strange. You've got to get as good as possible, or have a good piece of software behind you to make those corrections. But if you've got to make corrections, you've got to have leeway in the photo, because if you've got to kind of pull those verticals in, you've got to make sure you've got the depth and the width and the depth in the photo to do that. So for your own sake, get it right in camera. Rope is always a surefire bet for this kind of work. Now I'm losing light here a bit, but there's quite a lot of fishing rope here, so I'm going to shoot that. But again, if you're not living by the coast with lots of fishing rope on you, just go and buy a hawk of rope, something like some sash cord or something, and do it at home with a couple of lights. You will be amazed at just how great these images can be. So we've lost most of the light now, so this is tripod territory only. So handheld with the gimbal, and this probably will be my last shot. But I have been shooting other things. I lost power in the phone for a little while, so I've charged that up, and I've got some nice images of this big thing with wheels, tractor. And actually, it's not until I've stood way back here that I've realised this. I love the patination and such in it, and you can't see it at this distance. You may be able to see it on the camera back there, but if you come back here, you may be able to work out that in the middle there actually says Ford. I didn't see that to start with because I've been working really, really close, and just this patination in here is lovely. But as you can see, what I'm working on here is a pretty much straight on shot of these weights at the front. The key thing to a lot of this is understanding the element of abstract. Now, you will have also seen you won't have seen, but you will see in a few minutes, some of the shots I got of the rope down here. And because the rope is inherently very three-dimensional, I've got kind of really deep into some of these bits here, so bits of this here very much out of focus, looking at it almost as though it's like a flower, so to speak, looking through something, so there's an element that's completely soft and out of focus. Breaking the suggestion, the rule, if you like, of what I was saying earlier about things being very kind of flat. I think the key thing to a lot of this is, I've just dropped something, the key thing to a lot of this is understanding where you can kind of get away with things. Obviously you can experiment. I'm not setting rules here. Some things will work, some things won't. But I think what you need to get is you've got to have a focal point, and if you're going to have something soft, then you've got to make sure that your focus is really, really sharp on what it is you want someone to look at, and be careful of the fall off as well. But this, I don't want it to be prescriptive, because this is experimentation. This is finding things that might work, because I don't know whether it's going to work. I don't know whether you're going to walk up to a bunch of chain or something and get the best photograph ever of chain by doing something that I'm not suggesting here. Just have a go, enjoy your time out, and enjoy these shots. Remember earlier I said about a video I did probably a year or so ago? It's up here. It was very popular then. I hope you enjoy it now. Take care.